On this week's episode of the Rambler Sports Locker, women's basketball does something they haven't done since 2015, and RSL reporter Eric Moran takes a top 5 look at the Bears' free agency.
Also, the men's basketball season comes to a close and the softball team begins conference play.
Welcome back to this week's episode of the Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Mary Plankey.
And I'm Adam Klepp. Men's basketball competed in the National Invitation Tournament on Tuesday night, March 19th in Omaha, Nebraska. The Ramblers' season ended with a 70-61 loss to Creighton University. Redshirt sophomore Ihar Ugak led the team with 18 points, and sophomore Cameron Krutwig added 17 of his own. The Creighton Blue Jays controlled a lead for most of the game. The Ramblers got the game tied at 22 during the first half after an 11-0 run, but were unable to take a lead. Creighton extended the lead back to 7 by halftime and led by as many as 11 in the second half. A late game charge cut the lead to 6 with a minute to go, but in the end, it was too much of a deficit to make up. Despite winning the Missouri Valley Conference, the loss ends a season that did not come to meet the expectations set by last year's Final Four team. It was also the final game for seniors Clayton Custer and Marcus Towns, 2 players who have won both MVC Player of the Year awards. The other 3 starters, Ugak, Krutwig, and sophomore Lucas Williamson, will be returning next season. RSL traveled to Omaha and covered the game. For more in-depth coverage and press conference highlights from the loss, check out our YouTube channel. Bradley, the team that eliminated Loyola from Arch Madness, was slotted as a 15 seed in the NCAA tournament and played number 2 seed Michigan State on Thursday, March 21st. The Braves were defeated with a final score of 76-65. In other basketball news, Loyola Associate head coach Brian Mullins was named the new head coach at Southern Illinois University on Wednesday, March 20th. Mullins served on head coach Porter Moser's staff at Loyola for 6 seasons. Mullins helped Southern Illinois reach the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament as a player in 2007.
Also during coverage of Loyola's NIT game, we put another episode of RSL's new Instagram show, Running with the Pack.
Here is the first 2 minutes of the latest episode with hosts Conor Bergin and Hayley Spitler.
What's up, Instagram? I'm Conor Bergin here with another edition of Running with the Pack. Today's a special episode, though, because our normal co-host, Iwana Kinkanos, couldn't make it, so we have a special treat. RSL executive producer Hayley Spitler is joining us today. Welcome to the Pack, Hayley.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here in Omaha, Nebraska. Now, as you can see behind us, Loyola is currently warming up before they begin their NIT Round 1 game. However, we're not going to focus on the players right now. We're going to focus on the fans.
Yes, we are at Creighton University, of course, the alma mater of the mayor of Gentile Arena, Porter Moser.
He's our favorite jacket taker-offer.
And we are, of course, at another Jesuit school. So we're going to dive into that and more on this episode of Running with the Pack. Let's go. And do you know that Porter Moser, the coach of Loyola, played at Creighton?
I found that out through Facebook, but so it's actually gonna be a good welcome home to him. He knows the school, so it's good. It's gonna be very nice for the 2 coaches to actually get back together, meet, and have that great bond.
Yeah, for sure. Last question: can I have a sip of your beer? No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, hey, sure, why not?
Thank you.
Conor, we are in the middle of Running with the Pack. We do not have time.
I thought we had like a break a minute.
Be professional, let's go. What are you doing? I am here with Catherine and Jane. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but Loyola and Creighton are both Jesuit universities. So who do you think has the better Jesuit values? Who are we going to give it to?
I go with both Creighton and Loyola.
Both pretty Jesuit, as we would say at Loyola.
On Thursday, March 14th, the 7th seed women's basketball team played against the 10th seed Evansville Purple Aces in the first round of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. The game ended in a Rambler win with a final score of 90-80. Several Ramblers reached double figures in the win. Sophomore Abby O'Connor led the team with 22 points, junior Jasmine Covington scored 16 points, and freshman Maya Dunson added 13 points. Freshman Allison Day and junior Tiara Wallace both chipped in 10 points. The win was the first time since 2015 that the women's basketball team won a postseason game. On Friday, the Ramblers faced 2nd seed Missouri State in the second round of the conference tournament. The Ramblers fell short by a final score of 59-50. Dunson scored a team-high 13 points, and O'Connor added 12. The loss marked the end of Loyola's season. The Ramblers finished with a 6-12 record in conference and a 13-18 record overall. The Missouri State Bears went on to win the MVC tournament and will face off against number 6 seed DePaul as an 11 seed on Sunday, March 24th at 2:30 p.m.
On Thursday, March 14th, the women's softball team played St. Louis University, with Loyola leading 2-1. The Ramblers came alive in the 5th and 6th innings, bringing in 6 runs. Sophomore Allison Ivy sealed the game during an offensive outburst with a 2-run shot to put Loyola ahead 8-3. The game ended with the Ramblers on top with a score of 10-4. Junior Shannon McGee and Jessica Shields both led the team with 3 runs each. On Saturday, March 16th, Loyola played a doubleheader against Missouri State University. In both games, the Ramblers lost. Game 1 ended with a score of 2-1, and Game 2 ended with a score of 1-0. Abby Jacobson's RBI groundout in the 4th inning of Game 1 brought in the only Rambler run of the day. Loyola finished the 3-game weekend series with Missouri State with a game the following day. The Missouri State Bears completed the series sweep with a 5-3 win. Katie Kazuki 1-run home run and another RBI from Jacobson were not enough to overcome an early 4-0 deficit. The Ramblers now sit at a record of 15-7 and will be in action again March 23rd and 24th with a 3-game series at Evansville.
The women's golf team competed in the Kingsmill Intercollegiate Tournament this past Monday and Tuesday, March 18th through the 19th. The team finished in 11th place out of 14 teams. This was the first time the Ramblers played in a tournament since February 5th. The team struggled in the first 2 rounds. In the 3rd round came better fortunes as senior Elena Bowser shot a 74 and freshman Jen Mislinski shot a 76 on the par 72 course. The scores were their best single-round scores of the tournament. The Ramblers totaled a 316 in the 3rd round, which was their best team round score by 11 strokes. On March 20th, senior Elena Bowser was named the MVC Golfer of the Week after her performance at the Kingsmill Intercollegiate team. The team hopes to carry their 3rd round momentum to Peoria, Illinois, where they will play in the Bradley Spring Invitational on March 30th and 31st.
On Friday, March 15th, the men's volleyball team played a road game against Lewis University. The Ramblers lost to the Friars 3-1. Lewis had a total of 58 kills in the wins, while Loyola registered 53 kills. Senior Will Tischler led the Ramblers with 17 kills in the losing effort. Men's volleyball will play next at Ball State University on Thursday, March 21st. The NFL free agency season is upon us, and the Chicago Bears are making moves.
RSL reporter Eric Moran is counting down the Bears' top 5 free agent pickups in this week's Top 5.
With the start of NFL free agency, teams are looking to fill vacancies at certain positions, and the Chicago Bears are no different. Today I'll be counting down the top 5 players the Bears have signed during free agency so far and rank which ones I think will have the biggest impact in the 2019 season. Starting off the list at number 5 is veteran cornerback Buster Skrine, who signed a 3-year, $16.5 million deal. The former New York Jet and Cleveland Brown looks to fill in for former Bears nickelback Bryce Callahan, who recently signed with the Broncos. In Skrine's 8 seasons in the league, he has had 9 interceptions. Now, Skrine has struggled with pass interference calls throughout his career due to his aggressive play, but hopefully with the supporting cast Skrine has around him, those pass interference calls will go down. Next on the list at number 4 is former Falcons wide receiver Marvin Hall, who signed a 1-year deal with the team. Hall did not see much action in his 2 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons, accounting for 10 receptions, 149 yards, and a touchdown. Despite his limited play, Hall still shows a lot of promise because of his impressive speed. Now, despite Hall not likely starting at wide receiver with his speed, it's hard to believe that Matt Nagy's creative offense won't utilize him on trick plays and end arounds. Coming in at number 3 is running back Mike Davis, who inked a 2-year, $6 million deal with Chicago. As a member of the Seahawks last season, Davis only started 2 games but rushed for over 500 yards with 4 touchdowns. Davis is by no means a household name and has a limited sample size when it comes to NFL carries, but the carries he has had have been impressive. It is still unclear if Davis was signed to be an eventual replacement for Bears running back Jordan Howard, who struggled to fit the system last year, or as another player to add in the backfield for Matt Nagy's offense. Coming in at number 2 is former Alabama standout HaHa Clinton Dix, who signed a 1-year, $3.5 million deal with the Bears. The former Packer and Redskin safety brings 5 years of experience to the young Bears team and has 14 interceptions in his career. Clinton Dix will take over for former Bears safety Adrian Amos and will join former Alabama teammate Eddie Jackson in the secondary. Topping off the list at number 1 is kick return specialist and wide receiver Cordero Patterson, who signed a 2-year, $10 million deal. The move gives the Bears even more depth at wide receiver, but it also gives the Bears a proven kick returner, something they haven't had since Devin Hester. Patterson is coming off of a Super Bowl run with the Patriots last season and can hopefully push the Bears towards a Super Bowl run themselves. That's it for this week's Top 5. I'm Eric Moran. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Eric.
I might have to meet Eric at the Ramble desk next week. You have Cordero Patterson. He's not very good. But anyway, for our full episodes and the chance to get in on the conversation, follow and like our social media handles for an up-to-date look at all things Rambler sports.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Mary Plankey.
And I'm Adam Klepp. Check back next week for another episode of the Rambler Sports Locker.
And as always, don't forget to turn out the lights.